Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to demystify exactly how computers clean up and sculpt digital images using something called morphology. I mean, have you ever actually stopped to wonder how your smartphone reads a messy, smudged fingerprint perfectly? Or how medical software can extract the exact shape of a cell from a super noisy background? Well, the secret lies in a fascinating set of techniques that basically treat image pixels like digital clay.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the biology of digital images, then move to our foundation, erosion and dilation. After that, we'll look at compound tools, opening and closing, followed by comparing morphological effects. And finally, we'll wrap up with basic morphological algorithms. Let's dive right in.
Section 1. The biology of digital images. We're starting off by bridging the gap between the natural world and digital pixels. So when we're looking at noisy, imperfect digital images, like this data-driven fingerprint right here, we really need a reliable way to extract their true, clean shape. Because let's face it, real-world data is rarely perfect. It's usually full of static, gaps, and digital artifacts. And to a computer, this fingerprint is literally just a massive grid of ones and zeros. To actually make sense of it, the computer has to understand its underlying geometry.
This is where it gets cool. Morphological image processing actually borrows a concept straight out of biology. In biology, morphology is all about the study of form and structure. But in computer science, it's a technique we use to analyze and process geometric structures. And this applies to simple black and white binary images, as well as more complex grayscale images. To pull this off, we use something called a structuring element. Think of it kind of like a digital magnifying glass of a very specific shape. It probes the image to see how it fits against the pixels, evaluating pixel intensity in grayscale or just simple binary shapes in black and white.
Moving on to Section 2, Foundation, Erosion and Dilation. Let's check out our foundational tools.
Okay, this brilliantly illustrates the direct opposites in our digital toolkit. Let's look at erosion on the left first. Imagine dragging your structuring element, your digital magnifying glass, over the image. For a pixel to stay colored in, all the pixels under the element must match the foreground. It's an incredibly strict test. Because of this, erosion actually shrinks the object. It shaves off the edges and completely deletes tiny random noise spots. Now contrast that with dilation on the right. This one is way more forgiving. If any single pixel under our structuring element matches the foreground, boom, the output pixel is filled in. Dilation acts a lot like adding a fresh layer of wet clay. It grows the object, bridges tiny gaps, and even merges adjacent shapes together.
Section 3. Compound tools, opening and closing. We know we can shrink and we know we can grow, but what happens when we use both of these foundational tools together?
First up is the opening operation. It's a 1-2 punch. By performing erosion first, we strip away all the tiny parasitic noise. It just vanishes because it's way too small to survive that strict erosion test we just talked about. But obviously, our main object shrank in the process too. So we follow up immediately with step 2, dilation. This secondary dilation grows our primary object right back up to its original size. And because the noise was already completely erased in step 1, it doesn't come back. We're left with a beautifully cleaned image.
Now, what's super interesting is doing this in reverse, the closing operation. Here, we dilate first. Why? Well, because our object might have tiny holes or broken lines inside of it, dilation instantly fills these gaps and joins everything up. But again, this balloons the overall size of the object. So a follow-up erosion shaves the outer boundary back down to its true original perimeter. It's pretty simple to remember. Opening removes outward noise, closing fills inward gaps.
Section 4. Comparing morphological effects. Let's take a quick pause to summarize exactly what these operations do.
This table right here is our perfect cheat sheet. It clearly maps out the core effects. You can see how dilation increases object size and expands the boundary, while erosion decreases and shrinks it. But look closely at that third row, brightness. This is absolutely crucial for grayscale morphology. In a grayscale image, our structuring element looks at pixel values. Dilation actually selects the maximum pixel value in a neighborhood. It acts as a local maximum filter, which increases the overall brightness of the image. Conversely, erosion acts as a local minimum filter. It grabs the darkest pixels, thereby decreasing the overall brightness. And finally, for noise, dilation fills the gaps, while erosion just wipes out those small exterior spots.
Section 5. Basic morphological algorithms. With our toolkit fully loaded, let's explore how these operations combine to do some heavy lifting. Take a look at this grid. This shows how we build a morphological skeleton across multiple iterations. Start with the original shape up at the top left. As we move down and across the columns, we are methodically carving away everything but the absolutely essential backbone of the shape. We're finding the ultimate underlying structure of the image, basically peeling it like an onion until only the true center lines remain. In the biz, this is known as skeletonization.
Okay, I know the math on this slide might look a little intimidating at first glance, but it's actually pretty straightforward. It simply dictates peeling away those layers using our old friend, erosion. It essentially says, erode the image step by step. At each step, keep the parts that would completely disappear if you tried to do an opening operation on them. What you're left with is the unerodable skeleton. It's an incredibly highly compressed representation of the original shape.
But here is the truly mind-blowing part. We haven't permanently destroyed the image. Incredibly, by applying successive dilations to those very same skeleton subsets, which is essentially running the whole process in reverse, we can fully reconstruct the exact original shape from just its bones. No way, right? But it's true. We use dilation to systematically pack the digital clay back onto the skeleton until the original image is flawlessly restored.
It really leaves you wondering, doesn't it? If a few simple shape-based rules can clean, strip down, and perfectly reconstruct digital images, what invisible digital sculpting is happening behind the scenes of the tech you use every day? From medical MRIs to the facial recognition unlocking your phone right now, these fundamental biological concepts of form and structure are quietly eroding the noise and dilating the truth all around us. Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep looking for those hidden structures in the digital world.